Welcome back. Thanks for rejoining us. Hopefully maybe you never left, but if you're into this segment right here, we're really excited about it, about what we're going to be talking about in this segment. It's the third key element that you need to have when you're hiring a realtor, and also I think as people have listened to, of the importance of having the right lender too. And the third element is very simply trust and confidence. Do you hear what they're saying? Is the realtor saying everything you want to hear? If there's one thing that I've heard, and yes, they have a good track record, and yes, they're working with you, and it seems like they're listening, but at the end of the day is what they're saying just doesn't ring true. There's that thing in your stomach. If there's one thing that I've heard from sellers that things didn't go well, was listening to that intuition, that everything just sounded so good, and this was going to happen, and all this was going to play out, and just do this, and this, and 6 months later, they're still sitting there in the same or really worse situation because they're no closer to where they want to be at, maybe moving to Florida, maybe downsizing, upgrading, whatever the situation is. So trust your gut, and also be looking for that confidence level. Not arrogance, not cockiness, but just the confidence level, the quiet confidence that they know that, hey, we've got a plan, we've sat down, I've heard your situation, I understand where you're coming from. Because it's so important to be asking questions, it's trying to find out. We're informational based, and your realtor should be informational based. And the simple fact is if they don't asking you questions, then they're assuming a lot of things that may not be true. And Dave, we had to go to break, but you were going to finish the thought that you had.
Yeah. So what I was going to say on the experience side of things, it's a little bit different on the lending side than the agent side. And just that we deal with a ton of first-time home buyers, and while we want to educate them and we want to give them options, we're also the expert. So from the experience side and having kind of seen it all, we definitely want to portray that to the client and make sure that they're doing the most efficient and best thing for them, whether it be a first-time home buyer grant or putting less or more money down. There's just a lot of things that we can talk to them, but we definitely want to lead them in the right direction and not confuse them by laying options on the table that probably aren't best for them.
And that's a good point. And just a friendly reminder, I'm speaking here, that was Dave Hohe of New American Funding, and Deb Rust is here also. Now, that's a great point, and I think those parallels also work with the real estate side, because you can have that agent that their ability of, shall we say, the confidence level is to confuse the client. That they start running numbers. And look, you could be a numbers person, but I can tell you sometimes stories I've heard of agents, and all of a sudden, 90% here, 20% here, and 1.5%, and all these numbers and things of that nature. Look, part of real estate is, of course, numbers, but it's, for the most part, even by the National Association of Realtors, is a small part. There's also the skill of houses that you've seen, what you've seen before. How does your house match up? Yes, it's great when there's your location and you've got houses that just previously sold, but you don't always have that. And so relying on past history and the history of 7, 10, 16, whatever, you guys 20 years on the lending side, really makes a difference. It really does, because you've seen this before, and you can help guide them in what they're trying to do and try to help them, and be willing to say those things. Now, one thing that I'll bring up a little bit, maybe you don't have it come up, we have it come up a little bit more, is friends and family. If you're working with friends and family, and sometimes on the realtor side, it sounds like a good idea. But the question is can you have both? Meaning do you have a track record? Do you have those abilities of being able to sell homes? And also understanding is that is the agent, the person, your friend, your cousin, going to be telling you what you need to hear, or the fear of not getting the true situation. On the selling side, it may be, since they don't have that expert knowledge, they don't have that track record, that they're getting more and more involved in saying that you're not doing the right job. So friends and family and all that's really good, as long as you understand that that it's still a profession.
Still a business.
Right, still a business, and that's a great point. And that's what's really important, is to understand it's still a business, that you have to keep those things separately, and that can work out really well. Otherwise, you're going to have some very tense holiday get-togethers,
Right.
For sure.
and some potential friendship breakups. So, hey, we're going to go into our next segment. We're going to talk more with Deb and Dave, more about on the lending side. So I'm really excited about that. Again, you're listening to Ready, Set, Sold. I'm your host, Bryan Vogt.